Let's go live now to Paul Bailey. He's the New South Wales SES Director of Operations. Paul, thank you for your time. How many call-outs last night and what's the situation this morning?
Yeah, our crews were very busy last night. We've had over 800 calls for assistance overnight, most of those in the Sydney region. Sutherland, Miranda and Caringbah were very heavily impacted overnight. We've had over 400 members out last night trying to clear those roads. We're working with the Electoral Authority to try and get that power back restored as quickly as we can. We'll have further crews out today. We'll be working with fire rescue as well to ensure that we have as many people on the ground as we can. We'll get that power back onto people as quickly as we can and get those roads cleared. It is a big job. We do ask people to be patient, but we will certainly have as many people out there as we can. Yeah,
you just mentioned, I mean, we're looking at some pictures now of trees down and power outages. So is that the majority of what the call-outs were for? Are you able to elaborate on that? What sort of help people needed?
Yeah, look, predominantly it was trees down. Now, we had a couple of very serious incidents where trees had fallen on cars with people in them. Those people were rescued from those vehicles, luckily not terribly injured. We did have a lot of leaking roofs. There was some significant wind associated with this storm that did tear a few roofs off. So we've been working to put tarps on those roofs and to get that secured as we can. But majority of the issues we had were trees down with power and blocking of roads.
Okay, so how significant is the damage in terms of those power cuts lingering? I think there was 13,000 homes without power still early this morning. Is that likely to be restored quickly, or are they more extensive areas of damage?
Well, I know the electrical authorities are out there right now doing all they can to get that back up and running. Obviously, it takes a while to make sure that everything is safe, to remove the trees from the wires and get them back up. But I know the Electrical Authority have got all their teams out as best they can, and we'll certainly work with them to prioritise those areas where the power is out and get it restored as quickly as we can.
Paul, how significant was this storm cell, generally speaking? I mean, there's in excess of 1,700 calls for help in Canberra, and then that storm cell, drifted very quickly over the Greater Sydney region, where you just mentioned there about 800 calls for help. So how significant is that, generally speaking?
Yeah, our in-house meteorologists were very concerned about these particular cells. They were very powerful, very, very strong winds, and the chance of giant hail. That term was used a lot yesterday, so they were very significant storms. We understand that they've passed now and we don't expect any through the rest of this week, but that doesn't mean that the storm season is over. So we do encourage residents to really ensure that their house is as storm ready as it can be, keeping all your items so that you can get them inside quickly so they don't fly around the backyard, and having a plan. And number one thing is don't drive through floodwaters. We know we get that every year. We really do ask people to consider an alternative route and don't risk going through floodwaters.
Paul, great.